I'm joined by one half of Saturday's main event, Dustin who rematches Conor McGregor at UFC 257. Dustin, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. 32 years young. Let's go.
I suppose this isn't exactly how you expected to celebrate, but tell me how fight week has been for you so far. You obviously flew in early, right?
Yeah, I got here Monday morning. It's been smooth. You know, the hospitality here is amazing, as it was September last year when I fought. You guys really treat us well, and it's been smooth, just not a whole lot of moving around. You know, I've been stuck here at this hotel.
Yeah.
Which is a nice place to be stuck, but still.
Right. Well, the price to pay to have fans, right? So tell me how excited you are. You've competed without the fans, so how excited are you to get part of the fans coming?
It's exciting. I'm happy that we're moving in that direction. You know, I don't want to see everything locked down forever.
Right.
So some bit of normalcy, creeping back in, having some fans in there, but it's all good.
Would you say you found any difference at all? I mean, obviously you had a fantastic performance without the fans, but would you say any difference, whether bad or good, fighting with no crowd?
I enjoyed it. I felt like it was intimate. It was calm. It wasn't chaos as much. You know, fighting's crazy. Your mind, your adrenaline's pumping. Normally people are hanging from the stands, yelling, and it's just chaos. That one was a little bit more clarity.
Right. I know a lot of the narrative has been how much you've changed, and I'm sure you've answered about 100 questions about that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk more about your move up to lightweight, because that's part of the change, right, from the first fight. Would you say there was a specific moment that made you move up? And because you had a lot of success at featherweight, right? So was it a tough decision to have a career change like that?
Yeah, because I was so close to the top. But getting beat by Conor and knowing the ladder I needed to climb to get back in that position to be close to talk about a world title shot would take so many more weight cuts when it was already grueling. If it was one more, two more, I maybe could have done it. But looking at where I was after that loss, I might have had to fight 2, 3, 4 times to get back to the title, or even in the title picture, and my body just couldn't make that weight anymore.
And I know you've never missed weight or anything like that, but what would you say, was there one specific weight cut you recall where you were just thinking I might not make it?
The cup, for sure, the most weight I've ever cut in my life was a Cup Swanson fight. We went out to London, I showed up 30 pounds over on fight week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about...
You know, it's never good when you're in the hotel room doing the math, because they're going to take 20% of your purse. I'm like, what's 20% of this? Let me start. The numbers are floating around.
Right.
So you never want to be in that position.
Yeah, of course, of course. Let's talk about the matchup. Obviously, there was a bit of uncertainty, right? Not knowing the ramifications and stuff like that. Did part of you ever think that there would be a title strap to it, whether interim or even the official?
Yeah, when this fight came together, and then Khabib kind of, then Justin and Khabib fought after this fight was announced, and I thought that if he really walked away, that the belt would be fought for or be on the line here. But we still don't have a whole lot of clarity with what Khabib's doing. I thought it was going to be a yes or a no. He's retired or he's not. He's kind of in the middle. And hey, the guy's the world champion, undisputed, undefeated. So he gets a little bit of room, right, to make those decisions and take his time to see exactly what he wants to do. And I just need to fight and win. All that stuff's out of my hands. So what I really need to focus on is what is in my hands. And that's 25 minutes with one of the most dangerous fighters in the world Sunday morning here in Abu Dhabi.
Does your gut instinct tell you Khabib returns or no?
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for you. I really don't know.
All right, with the matchup with Conor, a lot of the notion is that the longer the fight goes, it favors you. Do you really see it like that?
I believe so. I believe every minute that ticks off of that clock is deeper water for him. Come on!
Happy birthday
my
to
man.
You. Don't eat.
Dude, I'm about to jump in. Oh man, this is all.
You.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Dustin.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I didn't know. I wouldn't have been texting you. I didn't know your neck was hurt. Mike told me you're.
It's okay.
You good? Yeah. Okay.
That must be a bit of a tease, huh?
Oh man, I need it. I need the calories. It's all good.
Yeah, so I was saying your ability to dig deep has kind of been the story of your career, right? Whether you're talking about the actual fights or in the fights themselves. Your last fight against Dan Hooker was a perfect example of that, but you've done it so many times, right? You look at the Justin Gaethje fight, Eddie Alvarez, there are certain points in the fight where it almost seems like they're going to turn things around on you, and there's just that switch in you. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know where the grit comes from. Not having a safety net to fall back on. Not having a plan B. My will and want to be victorious and give my all. I can I can digest being defeated. I understand that's part of fighting, but I can't go back and wake up the next day and look at myself thinking I didn't give it all. If somebody beats me, fair play. If I give it my all and you beat me, I understand, but I could never look for a way, or when things get rough in there, be beat by that. I can suffer more than these guys.
Right.
And I'm willing to.
Yeah, do you envision yourself kind of dragging him, because there's that, everyone talks about his cardio and the latter rounds and that. Do you feel like that's overblown a little bit, and is it tough to not think about that too much?
The second fight with Nate, he fixed that problem and was a little bit more efficient, and I'm sure he's been working on it ever since to never let that feeling happen again when he was in the first Diaz fight. It's tough to say, but I can't go through a training camp and come to fight week hoping that I need to get this guy exhausted and into the later rounds to win this fight. I just need to fight smart, be myself, and be loose in there, and I get the win.
Do you think, because a lot of people talk about him being motivated and not motivated and stuff like that, do you see that at all, like his mentality, and they're talking about him being the most motivated he's ever been and stuff like that?
It's tough to say. I mean, I would assume every time he fights he's motivated, I would assume everybody I fight is motivated. I don't really play into all that stuff. That's a lot of noise, and I understand the media, and he's in great shape and people get behind that, but that's just noise to me.
And it seems like, well, at least I talked to Dana, that they're going to do a lot production-wise. Does that stuff excite you in terms of the walkout and stuff like that? Do you care about that stuff?
I'm not really sure what they're doing. They did ask me about my my walkout song. They said I couldn't change it. I don't know what they have planned. Maybe you do.
No, I don't. You wanted to change it? or
No, I didn't. They were just letting me know.
Right, okay. Yeah, it seems like they've got some pretty big production and all that going
on.
Awesome.
I'm a fan of the big production, like Pride back in the day, the entrances. I used to love that stuff.
Yeah, let's see. And first time around when you fought him, a lot of trash talk and stuff. It's completely different now, right? He's donating to your charity and stuff like that.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so. We have a big goal we're trying to reach with the Boys and Girls Club, and we have some other plans a little bit later this year. So that would be a huge help for that.
Talk to me a little bit more about your foundation for those watching who might not know. Tell me what inspired you to start your foundation and the project you're currently working on.
Yeah, so the Good Fight Foundation, me and my wife standing over there, started a few years ago when I was in training camp for the Justin Gaethje fight. Previously, we moved back from Florida to Louisiana when my daughter was born, and I had a bunch of memorabilia that was in boxes, and we started moving it, and we realized how much stuff I had. I have a bunch of fights, and we just came up with the idea, let's auction this stuff off and donate the money to food banks and donate the money to local causes in our community. And we started doing that, and then we just decided to give it its own identity and see where it can grow naturally by itself, and call it the Good Fight Foundation, make it an official nonprofit organization, and it's grown incredibly. I'm very proud of the things we've done and the things we continue to do. Last time I was here, we were able to raise enough money to build water wells and buy land for the pygmy people in Africa. And I'm very, that stuff's close to my heart, and I don't take it lightly. It really means a lot to me, fighting for this transcends fighting. Fighting is something I do, but this things we're doing outside of the octagon are changing people's lives forever. And I'll never forget that, or it will never be pushed aside. With this particular fight, we're raising money for the Boys and Girls Club of Acadiana. They have 6 locations we're working with. We're getting behind the Project Learn initiative to provide transportation and tutors for the year of 2021. Social distancing and the distance learning. Kids are at home on Zoom, learning from home, and a lot of them don't have transportation to and from the clubs, and it's important to have positive role models in your life and be around peers that shape you into the person, or give you ideas, or give you hope, and I think it's important. Our youth is our future, so we decided to commit to that goal.
And I know you also helped out, which is going to mean a lot to the region, with the devastating bombings in Beirut with your teammate Sabah Hamasi.
Yes.
Yeah, so talk to me a little bit about that, how that happened, because obviously it was a great initiative.
Sabah's family is actually from there, so it just, and we were in fight week with him for another organization when all this happened, and it just, we decided to do it right there on the spot. Sabah said he was going to donate his fight kit, and the Good Fight Foundation teamed up with the Red Cross there and donated the money to them.
Awesome, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll leave you with a couple more questions, and I appreciate your time. Wanted to touch back on how the first fight, the build-up, was a lot of trash talk and stuff. Is it refreshing? Because I know you're a guy that doesn't really like that stuff. I mean, when people go at you and stuff, you'll respond when you need to, but it's not something that you like to do. So is it refreshing to see that this build-up has been a lot more calm?
It's easier. It's not as much, silly questions from the media like Conor said this and said that and said this. I mean, normally, like if somebody's talking like that, every interview I do, they're asking me, what's my response? What's my response? I mean, we're fighting in a couple of days. My response is, that's my response. We're going to scrap. And that's what I came here to do. So it is a little refreshing. It's nice, smooth sailing, but it's the art of war, so you never know what's going to happen.
Do you think the press conference could change that?
Possibly, yeah, it could. We'll see.
You've got a former opponent as well, Dan Hooker, and as part of the press conference, Michael Chandler in the mix as
I'm
well.
excited about that fight and excited to see Dan fight again. He's a tough kid.
How do you see that one playing out, Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler?
I would favor Dan Hooker in this fight. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just think he's going to get it done.
It's pretty crazy. They're part of the narrative too, right? Like in a weird way, you could end up rematching Dan Hooker.
Right, or fighting Chandler. It's. I mean, 4 of the top lightweights in the organization and in the world are fighting main and co-main event. So it's an exciting time for the lightweight division. I just hope we get some clarity soon. But first things first, Conor McGregor Saturday.
Absolutely. I'll leave you with one last one. Do you allow yourself to think about what's next? The title, I know the goal is to get the belt back. Do you allow yourself to think that further, or it's Conor first?
I can't. I'd be doing myself a disservice. I'd be disrespecting the art of what needs to be done and the work that I put in. First things first. Those things are going to fall into place when I handle business.
Absolutely, Dustin. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Hopefully you get to enjoy the cake.
I will not be able to, but it's nice to have it around. I'll smell it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dustin.
Thanks.